I think that most of us can agree that being an adult is kind of a scam. I mean, think about it. When you're a kid, all you want to do is grow up and get all the freedom that you think you're going to have, do whatever you want, and then you grow up to realize there really isn't that much freedom in being an adult. And I feel like some people feel like they got tricked into becoming an adult. My dad used to always say, don't blow out your candles. I want you to be little forever. Don't blow out your candles or else you'll grow older. And you're like, well, I want to grow older, so I always blow out my candles. Sometimes I think, man, I really wish I wouldn't have blown out my candles. But then I get to thinking that I wish I was a kid again. And I know a lot of people do. It's simpler. You got bills to pay, taxes. But I think we all, whenever somebody says, oh, to be a kid again, with that little bit of longing in their voice, we all miss the fact that we can indeed be kids again. What I mean by that is when you're a kid, the reason that time took so long, like holidays took forever to get there, if you were excited about anything, going to the pool, riding a bike, right? Something that we did as a kid was we were more in the moment. It's less often now, you see the iPad kids. But kids live in the moment more. They don't have very many things distracting their mind and their time. They don't have a lot of different pulls from each different way in their heads. And kids are curious about everything. They want to know. Ever since you're a teeny tiny kid, you want to know how to talk and walk, and you're gonna get there. You're going to learn how to walk. How many times does a baby fall? Never gives up on walking. And then you got the mom, what's that? Dad, what does that mean? You want to know. Those are all things that we can continue to do as adults, but we don't. Slowly over time, the ego creeps in. You want to show people that you have it figured out, because as a kid, you look up at your parents, and maybe at some point you figure out that nobody has it figured out. Your parents don't have it figured out. But as a kid, you look at your parents and you think they have it figured out. Yet you still grow up as an adult and you want people to know that you have it figured out, but nobody ever has it figured out. For some reason, that exterior validation is more important than desiring to learn more. I think the reason that people have bad teachers or bad coaches or any negative experience where they just refuse to look up to somebody that's older than them is because the person that's older than them decided to stop learning. And that's an easy trap to get into. It's an easy trap to have a preference and to move through life without humility. Nobody wants to look like a beginner, yet I think that's one of the best things for your mind to do, is to continually pick up things as a beginner. For your brain to have to work to figure something out is imperative to our health, yet nobody wants to do it. And so when people say, oh, to be a kid again, they're missing the part where they can be a kid again. They can very well do that. They just have to let go of the ego. They just have to move through life with intense curiosity and a desire to get better. We all become complacent in our jobs, in our education. Really brings detriment to certain occupations. I train athletes and clients, and if I wasn't always desiring to learn more, I'd be a very poor trainer. And I have been. I've got set in my ways. I love knees over toes. But if all I did was teach knees over toes, I would cap out as a trainer and become complacent, and therefore maybe my skill level would start to slowly plummet. You have to be willing to continually learn. You're not gonna, as a teacher, every kid doesn't learn the same. I don't care if your curriculum is tried and true. You have to continually learn and grow and figure out how to teach certain people, how to teach different ways. You won't make it anywhere in life, and you won't be happy unless you have that purpose of growing. As a kid, we all have that purpose of growing. Yet when we become an adult, we figure, oh, time's up. There's no more growing to be done. And that is dangerous. Now, I'm not someone to preach or try and get anyone to convert to any religion. I'm no religion. I don't go to church. But I have a deep desire to know what the heck everything is. And so I do read the Bible. And in the Bible, and honestly, in the Book of Mormon, I'm not Mormon, all right? But in both those books, there is a saying in Mark and Matthew that it's imperative to be like unto a little child. And it even says, pretty much, if you can't be like a little child, you won't enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, I don't care what you believe in. I don't care if you believe in the Bible, whether it's true or who cares? But I think there's some wisdom there. And the reason I say that is because if you look at Shoshin, which is a Buddhism teaching, a Zen Buddhism teaching, that means beginner's mind. And pretty much what that means is to enter every situation in your life as a beginner. Even if you are a master, if I'm a master at the piano, I still enter every session as a beginner with a desire to learn, with an open mind that I will learn something. And to me, that directly correlates with being like unto a little child, like how the Bible says and the Book of Mormon. And there's a few other teachings that explain that. I know Taoism teaches the same thing. There's samurai teachings that are very similar. Miyamoto Musashi and Dokoro explains to have no preference and to think largely of the world and littly of yourself. And pretty much what that means is drop the ego. Drop the ego, have no preference, learn everything. And I think that directly correlates with Shoshin, the beginner's mind, as well as be like unto a little child in Christian teachings. Whether you believe that or not, I think there's wisdom there to be drawn from. I think that it's imperative that we go through life like a child. Even if we're an adult, even if we are the best at what we do, if we allow ourselves to think that that's good enough, where's the growth going to happen? All right, being like a kid is desiring to grow, to having an immense curiosity of life, an immense curiosity of everything around you. Yet we all walk through life with our heads down, just trying to get from here to there without any obstacles in the way. Guess what? Obstacles are the way. We as adults won't learn something because we don't want to look like a beginner. I mean, every single person is guilty of it. I'm guilty of it a million times in one. And right now, all I can think of, why did I not do that when I had the opportunity to do that? Why did I think I'm too old to learn something new? So those are my thoughts. I think it's imperative that we take life preciously and we go through life, every aspect of life, as a kid, with immense curiosity and an open mind of every situation. No expectations of what's going to happen, but a goal to learn. Be extremely resilient and tenacious at that. Don't just say to be a kid again. Be a kid again. Till next time.